Not our fault you flew all the way to Milwaukee a week early.
Yeah, I'm just saying, though, I want you to acknowledge my feelings. I've been lonely. There's only so many girls' soccer games and roller rinks I can visit before our man runs out of time. I've missed my boys, okay? I just want you to acknowledge my feelings.
We get it, dude. We got to start the show. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the Bach Boys, the internet's #1 bachelor-based boy podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Danielle B, alongside my other hosts,
Jake C.
And Casey S.
And Alex F.
Boys, a toast to Nick finding love in the magical land of Milwaukee. Hear, hear. And if you haven't guessed it, viewer, we're recording from none other than Milwaukee. It's such a nice place to be recording from. It's so chilly, unlike that hot bachelor mansion we're so used to. Isn't that right, boys?
It's a really, really fun, nice place. It's like the second best city behind like Scottsdale. There's so many good
And
cities.
Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Really good cities.
There's a lot of really good cities in this country, and it's just so nice that this podcast takes us around the globe like this. That we get to hang out and more like hang in. Am I right, Casey?
It's a little cold.
Oh, I got you. See, that's what friendship's all about, right? Give me a high five now that Stinky Ryan isn't here. Well, anyway, just diving straight into things. What about this week's episode, boys? Craziness, am I right? Crazy.
It was cool.
I mean,
it's good.
It's always so exciting to be on the road and be traveling. Just get in a plane and just go somewhere you never thought you could ever be. It's such an opportunity, especially Milwaukee. The cheese capital of Wisconsin, and not of the nation, but of the state.
Well, the nation would be the moon.
Yeah, well, true.
We went there.
Of the solar system.
USA caught dibs on the moon.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
but yeah, no, it's super exciting. We're here in Milwaukee. We get to put all the hoopla, the hashtag, a whole lot of hoopla behind us, and just move ahead, bigger, better things. And I can't be any more excited. I bet you feel the same way.
Oh, absolutely. And, the best part about this whole Milwaukee thing is that it started off on such a strong note. Nick approaches this group of girls, amongst which are your guys' picks to win the whole season. And what does he do?
He makes a mistake.
He didn't have his contacts in.
And he chooses Danielle L right out of the gate for a one-on-one.
Yeah,
And
how savage was that he was just like, let me line all of you up to hand deliver that I like you the most.
oh my gosh. I mean, I got to say, every week I am more and more happy that I chose Danielle L as my pick. She is the best. She's so gracious. She's so kind. She really
she's
is there for
nailed that fake laugh down pat.
Yeah, but you know what? She girls got to do what she got to do. I believe that she truly is there for the right reason. She's talking about marriage and how she wants to have a family. I love that.
Yeah, no,
I
I
love
have
that.
nothing against her. I just have more for my pick, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable.
But, it was exciting. We found out that Nick was paid $12 to jump in a river.
He's cheap.
I got that question
I don't
right.
think that's new. We also found out about all the little flings he had when he was younger too, before he even branched out to national
Yeah,
television.
like that
Which-
Bella girl. Who was she? Ex-girlfriends all over this city.
No.
That was so painful to watch. Like, oh, let's walk by this here cafe.
Oh no, I'm talking about the soccer player.
Casey's talking about Bella V.
Bella
V's his
Vial?
sister.
The 9-year-old
Yeah.
soccer savant.
I'm
Is
sure
she
we'll
9?
get to
She
her.
looks older.
But
well, she's
no.
wise beyond her years.
How
exactly.
Okay, I gotta say though, I am becoming less and less of a fan of Nick as the weeks go on, and becoming more and more of a fan of certain girls, Danielle L being the front runner. And what's so upsetting to me is that Nick would spend his time with, an ex-fling that he had.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are the odds that she's sitting there still in his hometown? He's moved on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, obviously.
She's still there, eating his dust, microphoned up, just ready to be on camera. And
Perfectly close enough to the window to see her despite all the reflections, and then
she had
no one
nothing
else.
but
Totally
nice things to say about him.
a normal human reaction. Oh, Nick, come here.
I would have really liked to have seen what was said about him, like once they turned off the cameras, but the mics were still on and the sound guy was still listening. Because I imagine, I don't think they didn't seem like they were on great terms. They seemed like she just didn't want to be a terrible person in front of cameras.
I think it might have been real, to be honest. Like, she wasn't mic'd
There's
up at
no
first.
way.
She was behind the glass, and he was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, Nick's
He's always
always
so
uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's always uncomfortable.
That's true. I didn't
He's
think about
uncomfortable
that.
around any woman he thinks might actually be his soulmate because he knows that it's going to crash and burn.
I didn't think Danielle L deserved that whatsoever. She's a
Yeah,
classy
no,
woman.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think someone else deserved more time, way more than her.
Hey man,
Yeah,
we're
Christina
all
did.
here for Nick to find love, and I'm
Christina
just saying.
had her moment.
Oh,
She did.
Christina.
It was a
We'll
strong
We'll get
week
to her
for
later.
Christina.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
Power
here
play.
for Nick to find love, by the way. I'm here for Sarah to find love with Nick. I have one
Sarah's
purpose.
legit.
She was one of the last people to get a rose at the ceremony. So
Hey,
watch
but you know
out.
what? Lauren B. She got last roses one of those ceremonies. Am I right? Am I right?
True.
A couple of
And like, just on a side note, because I know we probably won't spend too much time on her this week, but Sarah had like one of the best moments I've seen ever on The Bachelor, where she
Yeah.
straight up called out Corrine. No one says it like she said it to her.
Oh,
she was just
yeah.
like, you need to get your act together because
Yeah.
this ain't what anyone's looking for. And it was so
Yes.
real, and it was so
Yes.
empowering for women everywhere, just to be like, this is not how you behave. You should be a like strong, smart, awesome pick who's probably should win, like Sarah.
With all the women's pride going on, what perfect timing! It's almost like
It was
she knew.
a parade in that.
Yeah.
Ben was there. Nick was at that parade in L.A.
How ironic!
Yeah.
What did he have? 25 women marching behind him in a flying V.
No, he was standing there looking very uncomfortable drinking coffee.
He was probably like, all of you need to stop trying to date me. Jeez.
what parade? We're talking the Rose Parade?
No, we're
I
talking
missed
about
a
the
parade.
The women's march.
Oh, yeah,
The biggest
Never
protest
mind.
in
You
human history.
must have been up in the air when
United
it was
States
going
history.
on your way over here. But anyway, though, before we move on, what do you guys think of Danielle L's chemistry with Nick when they were talking on that
Well,
hilltop?
hold on though. What a you're still on the hilltop?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
on the
'Cause
hilltop.
I have a lot to say about the rest of the date. So
he was
much to
dropping.
say.
He was like, "That's where I hooked up with her. That's where I did things for the first time." In my opinion, boys, not okay. You make it about your new thing with your new person.
I think he's a virgin and he was lying to make it seem like he has history all over this town. And really, he was just like, I was at home.
Well, I mean, he better
Would one
be.
be one of the greatest
Every
lies.
person, every bachelor and bachelorette is a
Is a
virgin.
virgin, yeah.
They have
Yeah.
to be. Hashtag all bachelors are virgins.
Well, that's where true love comes from.
It's exactly.
But yeah, I love their chemistry. I mean,
I didn't. I didn't think there was any at all. It felt very forced, and Nick pulled when they're in
I
there
agree.
when they're in there making cookies. You know, like the Nickerdoodle, oh God, which looks delicious. Yeah, and they're all just awkwardly making cookies with this woman who's in an unattended bakery.
But-
and Nick does that thing where she's like, "Oh yeah, goo goo goo, hey me, ha ha ha," and
Oh, yeah,
he's
that
just like,
thing.
yeah, you know
yeah.
that thing where
Yeah, oh,
she's
yeah.
just like not really speaking, just faking laughter, and then he just pulls her in, gives her a smooch. He's done that to a lot of girls. That's how he shuts them up. That's how he says, like, this is what they want. This is what we need to do.
I loved the moment where he had the frosting on his fingers and he wasn't sure if he should like stick his fingers in her mouth.
no,
So
she-
instead
it was
no,
the other
I
way
know,
around.
but
It was her, yeah, and
before
he
she
started
stuck her,
licking
no,
it.
before she stuck her fingers, like he was just looking at his fingers. He's like, "No, I'll lick these."
Yeah. It was the same on the Bachelor thing when she got the. I'm sorry, the Backstreet Boys thing.
Oh,
when
my
she
God.
got more time, you know, they're like dancing. She's looking at him. She starts singing. She goes, "Should we sing along?" And Nick goes, "You could sing if you want to sing." And then she sang another line, realized he wasn't going to join, and then stopped. And then he pulled her in for a kiss. And
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
I love Danielle L. She's everything about her, aside from her chemistry with Nick, feels to be all there. And solid choice, honestly, really good pick. I love the woman, but I just don't think
You love the one.
so do I.
I just
so do
don't
I.
think-
She
Love
follows me on
her.
boys. She follows me on Twitter.
Yeah.
She also
No.
follows the Batch Boys on Twitter. How cool is that? She follows all of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
She
that's
doesn't
that's
follow me
awesome.
on
Again,
Twitter.
nothing
You're part of the
I
against
don't
Bachelor.
have
her.
a Twitter.
Nothing against her. I just
I have a
I
Twitter.
don't think it's gonna work for her, and I think now we have ample evidence.
Okay, you got some hot takes to drop on that last part of the date, though.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
First Backstreet Boys and that other dude.
I agreed with Jake up until the hot fire moment when they were serenaded on stage by that singer we all love.
Oh yeah, that one.
Whatever his name was.
Crane.
Hell,
Insert
Chris
singer,
something?
insert singer of the season here. Like, why is it always some guy that we've never heard of who they insist we have?
That place was packed.
With
Maybe
doors
because they're
down.
maybe they're in Milwaukee and they're like, hey, something's happening tonight, and everyone shows
Yeah,
up.
you think they could have gotten Amos Lee to come?
Oh,
back.
if they got
only.
Amos, Jake, money doesn't grow on trees. You can't
Amos
just have
Lees
Amos
do.
Lee. Okay, there was one half Asian girl that gets Amos Lee every 2 decades. You know what I mean? And that was Kayla's time.
Yeah.
Okay, they hit 20. They're like,
What a
all
waste.
right, Kayla, you can have Amos Lee. So we gotta wait till Bachelor 40 before we see another one.
Dang,
So
that's too bad.
anyway, transitioning on, we got the group date afterwards. Scooping some poop,
Poop and
some
scoop.
poopies.
Say cheese.
like the
Was,
udders. That's where the cheese comes from.
That's
Shake
right.
it all up.
And the butt.
Theo, you know a lot about
Poop.
farms.
I know all about poop.
You
know a
know
lot
all
about-
about being brought in to do free labor and play it off as a date.
I like how they're trying to make Nick look as country as possible.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he's like
Oh,
visibly uncomfortable during
Yeah.
like the entire poop thing. He's just like kind of standing. He's like, oh, he can't even like milk the cow properly.
yeah,
And they're
yeah.
like, oh, Nick, he's from Wisconsin. He's so country, and he's just so visibly uncomfortable
Yeah.
doing anything country.
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious.
It's so awesome. It goes back to what Ryan was saying, which I thought was so spot on and hilarious about how these Bachelor contestants, like Ben was like, he's the classic gentleman, and Chris was the earnest farmer, and then this guy's just like, fourth time's a charm. You're gonna watch it. And yeah, they're trying so hard to make him be something that he isn't, and that's all this episode was.
That's kind of why I do like Nick, because he doesn't fall under like some cliche
True,
archetype where he's
true.
just kind of like his own dude, and he's kind of he's a
just
little more
kinda
normal,
average at
kind of more
everything.
negative about the whole process, kind of just
yeah. Well,
rightfully
he's
reserved.
very real about it.
Yeah,
That is
exactly. And that's
true.
that's what I like about him.
He reassures the contestants, like, look, you got questions, you got to be honest with me, blah blah blah. Like, those things are very important, and I think it's good that
Like
he
he said-
says that.
Except the only thing he ever responds, they come to him with like these earnest concerns, and all he can respond is, "Look, I've been in your shoes. Like I know, I have been there." And
You have to move your
Kiss
mouth
me.
less.
All these Nick
I've been
impressions
in
have
these- I've been in
been
these
on,
shoes.
on point tonight,
Yeah,
boys.
that's
High
all-
five about that Nick impression, Casey.
We
There
might
you
need
go.
to get it down to a tiebreaker at the end of the season if
Ooh.
fantasy goes the way it's been going.
Ooh.
It'll come down to a Nick off.
We'll get to that in a second. I'm not gonna
Get it ready.
throw my hat. All right, we'll move.
well, the big thing to talk about, I think, in the group date is that this is that one date every Bachelor season that like shows if you're really there for love and that you handle the boring, normal, crappy parts, right? Of being in a relationship. And Corrine failed miserably and showed her age. And who surprised me was who's the cheerleader girl again? What's her name?
Oh,
Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Jasmine surprised me because she was like
The Warriors
look,
dancer.
She's like, you got to roll up your sleeves. You got to just get down and like make the best of a bad time. And no one here's having fun, but like we're having fun, not having fun and making fun of it and just going with it.
Yeah.
And
It's like hazing.
yeah. And so like when you get hazed, like future frat brothers out there and frat
And
ladies,
sisters, yeah.
yeah,
Good job.
frat sisters, you have to just let them break your arms and be happy about it. Just sharing the pain together.
I think now that you brought that up about Jasmine, I've noticed there's a pretty big gap in between the women and the girls. You know what I mean?
right.
It's like there's no. Is it like the only person that seems to be perfectly in the middle is Danielle L, but anything that's perfect is going to be her. But
Between a
you
woman
have,
and a girl.
You have in the rose ceremony of that night, you have Corrine, who gets called out. They're like, "Are you ready to be married?" Taylor's calling her out, who's a year younger than her. Okay, let's all not forget that she was 23, at least at the time. That
Never forget that. Like I don't like Taylor either. She's to me.
I don't like Taylor.
They're gonna
If I
drag
had
each
to
other
pick-
down.
No,
God.
she's the Alex F of this season.
Yep.
Remember the Marine?
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
it was F.
It
but
was
was
definitely
Alex.
wasn't F.
This is Alex
the
F.
Alex F of the season.
No,
I'm the
guy,
Alex
the
F
guy
of
who's
this
like,
season.
I'm going to take down
No,
Chad,
yeah,
and
no,
I'm not going to
definitely.
worry about JoJo.
Yeah, Dragon
yeah,
Slayer.
Yeah, exactly. He's small,
The
just like
midget?
her too.
Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tiny Chris Pine.
But just getting back to it, the
More like Chris Fur, am I right?
nice.
Thank you.
Wood jokes.
Theo, who's your pick to win the whole thing again?
Christina. who
Yeah.
had a great week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you
She
talk
did
a little
have a
bit?
good week.
Why don't you talk a little bit about her moment tonight?
She did really well during the group date and got the rose. But what impressed me more is what she does later. But we'll talk about
No,
Drop
tell
it on us
us.
now.
Tell
Drop
us.
it on us now.
Let's
when,
talk about her.
when her and Corrine had the little spar.
Yeah, that's what I want to get
That
into.
was before the rose, I think. Yeah.
It was before the rose.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
okay.
So you're right on.
It's okay.
Right on
Jet
time.
lag.
Right on time.
Jet lag.
Jet lag.
Yeah.
There
She
must be a
just-
timekeeper here
She
keeping
she
you on
put her in a
time.
body bag. She
Oh, yeah.
She
Oh, she
dismantled
did.
her.
No, I love that.
Right on the spot, and she was respectful about it until Corrine started freaking out and insulting her, and then she like no holds barred just destroyed her. I
Wait,
loved it.
but can I pop in? Here's the thing, though. The thing about Christina that was my favorite thing ever was her conversation with Nick, where she was like, "I really have so many things to tell you about my upbringing, and I want you to know
like, "Oh, I
everything
know."
about me." He's like, all in due time.
Yeah, that was weird.
He's like, not now. I have things to do. It was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't get what that was all
Did
about.
anyone think that was like so
Maybe
shocking?
he was trying to say like, I'm gonna give you the rose tonight, so we'll have time for this
Well,
later.
that was one thing, is because
He also just didn't want to hear it.
yeah, he did say he's like,
Yeah, did that hurt you?
I mean, no, because like
Hurt me. What were you gonna
he
say?
brought it up
Jay?
again. He was like he said something about her like charming personality being a result of her background, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
What does he
what
know
is the
about her
background?
background?
see, that's the thing, is like, that's important to know all, across the board, is that there's a lot we don't see. There's a lot of conversations between Nick and the contestants we don't see. There's
And
a lot
ghosts.
happening between the production ghosts and the
we don't
contestants.
see them.
And there's a lot we don't see. So like a lot of the times it can be, and where the questions arise from, I think, is in failure in editing. And I feel like that's maybe what this was kind of about, because like they've been stringing us along with like half episodes every week.
Well, it's
and-
also
I'm sick of
Corinne
that.
dominates the edit.
Exactly,
So you
yeah,
have to cut
so
out
I-
all the other.
so-
Usually, like
well-
halfway, you start to focus
Yeah.
on like
So-
the important girls.
So
you know?
with respect to Christina, I think what they did here is with Nick, when he's like, we'll talk about it later, is like he straight up, like, basically he might as well have just gone like, I'm giving you the rose. Like, we'll have time to talk
Yeah.
about this later.
You'll be around
if
for
you
a
know
while.
what I mean. That's what he said something like, if you know what I mean.
Well, and they
you know?
cut around the part where she gave him that book that her students made for
That's
her.
Vanessa.
That's Vanessa.
No. She gave him one too that her students made, but Christina
Is
had
that why
one.
Vanessa's was all scribbled out and it said Christina and was scribbled, and then she wrote Vanessa?
No, it was
Christina's didn't have any scotch tape in it. Or
Christina's was just was a bunch of printed news articles from the 20s about KGB and things like that, and then assembled via paper that is made out of potatoes from her home country of Russia. They do it very interesting over there. It's a nice scrapbook, though.
Casey, she's
Vodka.
from Kentucky.
She's not from Kentucky. She's clearly from Russia.
She
put-
has said she is, and that she moved to Kentucky, where she's a dental hygienist.
That's
for
her
her.
bio.
But yeah, big ups to Christina. I'm really, really proud of her. I loved her confrontation with Corinne. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, when she just looked at her, she's like, Corinne's like, it was a serious hand condition. She goes, I'm not stupid.
yeah, exactly.
I'm not stupid.
That was so
That's
good.
all she had to
She's
say
like,
was,
I
I'm
see
not
through you.
stupid.
She says, we look at the same problem. I don't back down, and you go home and
Yeah,
like
she goes,
crawl up or
yeah,
something.
yeah. She's like, I don't back down either. It was a serious medical condition, and I literally almost had to go to the hospital. She goes, I'm
Yeah,
not
no.
stupid.
You
And I was
just want
like-
to eat sushi and wear designer.
It was like, dang. Like, that's when I was like, Alex F. over here, he got a good one. And I'm
I feel better
very,
about that
very
pick every
excited.
week.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see some more of her down the road.
So, before we move on real quick, Casey, do the honors.
Oh, this week is my favorite $3 bottle of wine from CVS called Grape and Vine Wine Company. I would recommend it to anyone who doesn't want to really taste their wine.
Very, very nice.
It's good.
And if you mention that the Bach Boys sent you, they'll add tax.
Yeah, and if Grape and
In
Vine
certain
wants
states.
to sue us for slander, I don't think you have the grounds based on viewership.
Hey, you never know. We might start running real ads on you on these people. We might be
Not
rolling
from
in the
the Grape-
Benjamins. We
not
got to
from
find
the
a way to
Grape
pay
and
for
Vine
these
Company.
extravagant trips, these company trips. So anyway,
Right.
moving on.
Cold.
Raven's date. Totally. I think, no pun intended, the dark horse. She's from the south and she's got dark hair, so we'll just call her
And
Black
ravens are dark.
Black Beauty, and
And
ravens
as
are
Nick's
dark.
dad would say, that's an unusual name.
Nick's dad, Alan Rickman. Dad, when are you gonna come home from Hogwarts?
Always. Anyway. Yeah, his dad, crazy guy. I love
What a
it. I
guy,
love the
yeah.
dads.
He doesn't
But,
make as good as
he's a good dad.
Guacamole.
Not
can
to
tell.
derail too much.
Raven, though, as I like to call her, MySpace queen, but I'm starting to like her a little bit more, so maybe the
I agree.
nickname doesn't stick.
I've
She's a
always liked
MySpace.
her.
She's totally a MySpace queen, though.
Yeah.
She really has that aura about her. But their date, I was not expecting her to get the one-on-one this week at all. Very surprised, pleasantly surprised. I think they had a nice time. It was great. They got to go see
Bella V.
Yeah, Bella V. Big ups to Bella V, kicking it right in the back of the net. And they went roller skating, and there was a lot of music playing, so we couldn't really hear what they were saying.
At the roller rink.
They're playing
Yeah.
roller. Oh, yeah. This is
Yeah,
one
I
good
love
of
when
so good
Kiss
of a
Me
music-
by Sixpence None the Richer came on.
That was nice.
Oh my god,
Immediately
That
I
was
knew the song.
that was so.
Kiss
That's where all the Amos Lee money went.
Yeah, I know.
How cool was it when they like skated and kissed at the same time? I was like, that
They
was
are
dangerous.
both really good skaters.
Seriously, I'm like, he's
I've
lucky
been
she's
on
a good
those
skater.
on those 2x before, and those
Yeah.
are hard to skate on.
When?
Huh? Just several times in my past.
Do you have any video of it?
There might be somewhere online, Marshmallow Summer, or any footage from Delta Date Skate, R.I.P. But yeah, no, they were both really good. Nick, obviously, it's like that. You can't fabricate.
That's
that.
probably
He's
why they
good.
put him there. I didn't even realize. Like,
Yeah, and then Raven had inlines, which are a little easier, but was still very good.
And then
I love watching couples on dates do things well together. And
like skate through a museum. How cool was that?
That was actually really awesome.
I was like,
That was
that's
super cool.
I would love
I
to
dug
do that.
that in museum's design. But they're, I think they spent a little too much time talking about him. Like he was like making light of the fact that like he walked in on her. He's like, yeah, they were naked.
Yeah, she got graphic with it. He's like, I saw her vagina. I was like, did you now? Okay.
Yeah, she's like, he was thrust in. And he's like, "Oh, nice!" And you like kick down the door like a spider monkey. Like, how did that work? Like,
He's like,
Why-
keep going.
Why
Keep telling
did,
the story.
he, why did he find that endearing? I thought that speech was like, I started to really like her, and then she had this speech that was like all the things I would never recommend someone do when they catch their partner cheating. It was awful.
beat her face. She beat her face with the stiletto.
She like admitted to assault.
his face.
Yeah, like
but I love that. I love that.
I
mean,
don't.
Okay, here's I was trying to figure out the geography of how far
It's a
like Little
natural
Rock was
reaction.
when she's
Daniel,
like, I'm driving.
I have one question for you.
Yeah, lay it on me, Case.
Have you been cheated on? Do you know what that feels like?
Are we gonna go there?
I'm asking you on air. It's being very personal about you because here's the thing.
Casey
You know what?
knows.
We have a good
I know
relationship
what-
with the audience. What,
I know what it feels like. to be
Casey?
cheated.
I do know what it feels like to be cheated on.
I
because
know.
You've been, oh, what was the name of their town? Wawakasha. Wawakasha. I wanted to start that this episode, but we didn't do it. But I do know what it's like to be cheated on, and I know the pain and the shame.
It's all shame, man. You just feel like you did something wrong and you blame yourself and you can't. You just, you just have to lash out with whatever stilettos are around you, and
Yeah.
you just
You
can't.
can't feel the pain of getting cheated on if you don't date anybody.
But we're experts of love here at the Bach Boys,
Yeah,
so
of
we've been
course.
around the block a couple times. But anyway, good date, cool. I like her a lot more now. Okay, so moving on.
that's it.
No, it's not it. That's not it. We got some stuff left in the show.
This is awful.
I want to poll everybody on this. All right, I don't want to spend
Poll me.
too long. Who goes home next week, Corrine or Taylor? You know it's gonna be one or the other.
Taylor.
Why?
I think both. I think it's a solid rainforest goodbye.
They did specifically say one goes home, one stays.
They
but,
did?
Like,
If you
she's
had-
like one of in the promo, Chris Harrison's like one of them will go home.
Oh, really?
I'll
Yeah.
take both.
I didn't catch.
If you want to
that.
go for both,
But I can see it be a Sanderson Pose fiance and Ashley I situation where he
It's-
just
it's
dumps
at-
them both in the middle of nowhere.
It's at the end of next week's episode, not at the beginning, right?
I think it's gonna be the beginning.
Well, if it's at
I
the
can see it being
beginning,
the
then
very
it's
end.
Taylor.
They clearly are on a 2-on-1 together next week.
Yeah,
Really?
it's gonna be a
Yeah.
2-on-1.
There's always a 2-on-1. Who
because
else is gonna
Corrine,
be?
I don't like to be like in the previews, like I know this, but like Corrine is in the previews, like in several different outfits. Like
It's gonna be
she's not
after
kicked out to this.
I-
night.
But I think Taylor gets a little further too. Like I don't.
That's what
don't
I'm
li-
saying.
I
That's what I'm
actually-
saying. I think we have a full episode of them, and hopefully next
then
week
finally
we'll
they cut
end
Corrine.
with a rose ceremony.
They're gonna get rid of Corrine if it's the whole episode because they're gonna make a big deal out of that. But I genuinely think that Corrine deserves to stay more than Taylor because her and Nick legitimately have a connection, even if it's like really
Ew.
aggressive and
Yeah.
like
Ew.
not.
Ew.
No, but they do.
Ew, dude,
he
no,
falls
no,
for
no.
that stuff.
Don't. You're plaguing our young viewers with this corrupt idea that is a connection. That is not a connection. Okay.
You're right, Casey.
That's what it's called when
It's called sexual tension.
Yeah, when a man has his thingy he and a woman has her hoo
His hoo dilly,
yeah, his
her
hoo
cha
dilly,
cha.
and they both have a magnetism to each other that has nothing to do with love. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, but
We also have a sex ed
but
podcast.
honestly,
featuring hoohingies and sudaddies.
all parents are step parents. Yeah, I don't know.
sounds like the sequel to Hotel Rwanda.
So I'm guessing that I'm just gonna go with Taylor. I hope Taylor goes home.
I think
I'm gonna go with Taylor.
I think both, but if I think I have to choose one, it's gonna be Corrine.
okay.
Yeah, I really dislike Corrine, and I don't really have any love for Taylor.
Yeah.
You know, she's just I don't know. She's just kind of one of those people where it's like she's just here to poke the bear.
Well,
you know?
Taylor, I think they suck the producers stuck Taylor on Corrine because she's the mental health person. She's just like going along with it.
Also, though, I feel like Corrine, even though that's what we were told, is that Taylor like goes toe to toe this week on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
It felt more like
What show
Corrine
is
was
that?
coming after her.
Wait,
And it doesn't matter. It felt like Corrine was coming after her. And
she sleeps in all day at the house where someone runs a multi-million-dollar company. Okay,
someone is getting crazy royalties off that snoring sound effect.
I think it's gonna be Corrine because you compared Taylor to Alex of last season.
True.
And Corinne's Chad.
Yeah.
They went on the group,
I
the
agree.
2-on-1, and Chad left. This is just how they get rid of the villain every season.
Chad's still the best though. If we have to talk about like
don't get me started on
Olivia, Chad.
Did you know
Corinne.
Chad was on? You remember that show?
Yeah,
MTV Next.
Yeah, I saw that.
Where they come out of the bus and they have to like walk up to like the person they're dating.
yeah.
At any time they can just say next and kick him off. The next person on the bus has to come.
Chad
Yeah,
was
he was
there.
on that show.
That was the found.
Yeah.
Cool. So Jake, we got some reader mail.
We do.
Let's dive into it.
Okay. Cool.
We don't got much time. So before we do that, while we're doing that, I'm just gonna by memory recap where we are with the. Pull it up. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I can say a eulogy to the first hometown date person
Yeah,
picked
please do.
to
Please
go
do.
home. Brittany. Ryan picked Brittany to go on the hometown date.
Was she the one that looked like Cindy Lou Who?
She
Yes.
sort of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that one. The
Yeah.
Liz loose lips. Like
No,
Tattletailer?
sorry, that's it. No, it's
That's
Brittany,
Kristen.
the other one that went home.
Brittany
Kind
went
of
home.
short brown hair as well.
Brittany and Kristen both
Santa
went home.
Barbara. Brittany. She's from Santa Barbara.
I think so, yeah. She was the one that you could tell she was going home
It's,
because before she didn't get the rose, like they interviewed her, she's like, I'm really worried, and she was blatantly had been crying.
That
like
sucks.
she had gotten sent home. Like, all right, she's gone.
I wrote never mind. Do we have it? Oh, you're pulling it up. Okay, yeah. Why don't you read through?
Do we want to do?
Just read where we are and read the top 3.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the rankings from this week.
Talking about fantasy here.
Yeah, we're talking about the fantasy league, Bach Boys Fantasy League. This week in first place we have.
Let's start. No, keep it. Let's tease it out. Let's start from the bottom.
Okay, start
Yeah.
from the bottom.
So just read the Batch Boys though, so we get to the
one, dude.
Yeah.
I know I'm last.
It's just gonna take me a sec to find you.
In the
'cause you don't have a
meantime,
rose
while
next
you
to
find
your
it,
name. Casey, I got him.
Okay, go for
so
it.
Casey with 30 points this week, a total at 130 is in 16th place.
Okay.
Ryan
16th?
S
Not
in
bad.
16th. Yeah, well, it's getting a lot closer together now. Ryan S is at 14th, 70 points this week. Not
Wow.
bad, but sitting pretty at 140, 10 ahead
Oh,
of
we
you
got 70
still.
points this week.
Mm-hmm,
Congrats.
Alex F 60 this week
Okay. Good job,
Uh,
Alex. That's good.
at
That's
180. Daniel B got 30 this week.
Yeah, I had a brutal week. I was at second place last week. You guys didn't really
That's
make
right,
too big
at
of a deal out
210.
of that. Thank you very much. But I did get every single question right. What up? Did you get every single
Yeah, you
question right this
cheated.
week?
Yeah,
I did not.
We decided that you cheated.
Hey,
But
cheated.
No, you just can't handle that Danielle L.
No, we just
paid
we-
off in a
we-
big
we-
way for
we
me.
had an
You
executive
cheated like
decision,
Raven's
and-
boyfriend, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I
saw your vagina.
I saw your
was gonna
vagina.
say- Yeah, Daniel, you showed us. your-
Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Daniel, your vagina is showing.
Well, that's okay because you're sitting pretty in 4th place,
Yeah.
tied with Jake's
Jake's
sister.
Eric D's in second with you.
Yeah, Eric D and I are both in 2nd place.
Good job, Jake. You got 90 points. It's huge.
With 260, thank you. And yeah, I got that jumping in the river question wrong. I thought he shaved his head.
That's when I got
All right,
it
so
right.
who's the number
Yeah, who's in
one?
first?
Number 1 is Chaotic Mom with 90 points this week, tied with me for highest scoring for the week, and is 10 points ahead of both me and Eric D at 270.
She's causing chaos.
I think that
within the
chaotic
Batch
mom's
Boys.
going to definitely be seeing 50 Shades Darker. So, yeah, that's all I got for the week. Before we sign off, everyone think about your final thoughts. And we're going to let everyone know where to find us. Go on Facebook, Batch Boys, The Batch Boys. That's where we post all our stuff. Also, write into us on batchboys.net, and you can tweet at us too. Tweeting at us is fun. We're Batch Boys on Twitter. That's it. That's all you need to know. Come hang out with us. We love you, and we want to establish a nice relationship with you as the viewer, and welcome you into our hearts as you welcome us into your hearts. We do want to be your step parents.
Yeah, because as we all know,
All
parents are step
parents.
Any final thoughts, boys?
No.
Christina's gonna win. That's his final thought.
Christina's awesome.
That's his final thought.
I think I'm forgetting something,
It's
but
getting
whatever.
real, guys. It's
Oh, wait,
really
no,
getting real.
the question. We have to.
Yeah, we have questions.
Okay. Read the
Okay.
question.
Cool.
We don't have a lot of time though.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we got a couple questions in. Maggie B, 31, stay-at-home mom from Cleveland, Tennessee, says that her question is basically talks about how she disagrees with our theory on Nick being bad at sex from last week, and then asks.
Did she meet him at Jaden Tanner's wedding?
Well, at their friend.
Oh,
Jaden
thank
Tanner.
goodness we don't have to hear that phrase anymore.
Yeah. And so her question is, what type of girl do you think would make the best wife for Nick? So I think maybe in 3 words, each of you boys, tell me what are the 3 most important qualities in a woman for Nick?
2/3 his age. That's 3 words.
2/3 his age.
Yeah, if one's a fraction.
Russian from Kentucky.
Casey.
Super duper shallow.
And mine is Vanessa from Guam.
Nice.
Yeah, and then lastly, I just like to take a quick moment to ask this question. This is from Alex M, 23 insurance agent from wherever Quantico is filmed. Now, this is a big question, and I think this is a good cliffhanger to leave this episode off.
Okay.
He says, what are the chances, given the commercial of a Quantico crossover with The Batch in any upcoming seasons? I'm loving the chemistry between Nick, wow, what a great commercial actor, and that actress from Quantico. I put more effort into this question than Corrine did from shoveling poop. It's a hands thing.
Well, viewer, what is the actual question?
Whether or not we're going to see a Quantico crossover, and I think the answer...
No. Let's let them find out next week.
That's what I was going
Like
to
the
say.
sadists at ABC. I'm cutting you off early, Casey.
That's what I was going to say, but okay.
Everyone, boys, how about a cheers
But that
to
was
week
not dramatic
4
enough.
of of Nick's Journey to Love and week something of us doing our show.
Cheers.
Heck yeah, cheers.
Yeah, to Nick.
To Nick.
I drank the whole thing because I'm sad.
Yes, Quantico.